Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to today's weekly mayoral news conference. We have several things that we need to discuss. Just so everyone knows, we're on a tight time constraint here. The City Council has a legislative committee meeting that starts at 1, so we have a hard out at 12:50. So, sorry when we cut at 12:50, because we will cut at 12:50. Okay, with that, I'll turn it over to the mayor.
All right. That wasn't me that time. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for our weekly press briefing. Let me begin on the issue of procurement. I would like to let you know that next week we are rolling out our new vendor self-service portal. The portal will allow vendors to submit invoices online, and they can also set up their direct deposit for payment. This will improve effectiveness, efficiency, and transparency in the system. This was heavily reported on as we were dealing with a number of outstanding invoices. I want to remind you that at one point in time we had approximately $9.4 million of unpaid invoices. We lifted up the fact that we were bringing in procurement specialists and that we were receiving assistance from the Harvard Bloomberg team. Our good friend Brent Westergren is going to speak about this new portal in just a moment. But I want to take a moment to lift up and applaud the hard work of not only Brent and Fidelis, our CFO, but our Department of Administration, who brought that $9.4 million unpaid invoice number to approximately $480,000. With the Public Works Department, I believe they brought their number of unpaid invoices down to $88,000. In a city of this size, with a number of transactions taking place, while we don't want to have any number of outstanding invoices as best we can, this is far more consistent with the work that should be taking place. And so I'd like to call Mr. Westergren forward so he can talk about this new vendor self-portal and other work that they're doing. Thank you, Brent. All right.
Hello, everyone. Brent Westergren with the Harvard Kennedy School Government Performance Lab. Not too much to add to what the mayor has said, but our existing vendors should be looking out for a notification starting next Monday, October 28th, about this new vendor self-service portal. We're really excited about this. It will really improve the customer service experience for our vendors. They'll be able to see a lot more of their information in the system. It'll also give them updates on their payments. The vendor self-service portal will also allow our vendors to sign up for direct deposit. We've had a lot of challenges and delays with issuing checks, and so we're going to be moving towards direct deposit. And then again, vendors can submit their invoices through the vendor self-service portal. This will give our executive team, our Department of Administration, our department directors a lot more insight into invoices as they are submitted through the system. This will increase transparency and accountability in the long term. So we are excited about this vendor self-service portal. Information will be sent in a variety of different ways to our existing vendors. And so they should be receiving letters and emails, postcards in the mail in the coming week or two. But again, as we said, this really should improve the effectiveness, efficiency, and transparency of our system. Really excited about that. There will be a grace period for our existing vendors. So it's not like we're going to make this announcement on Monday and existing vendors have 2 days to get on the platform. There will be a grace period, and that will be noted in the communications that go out. But they should be looking out for those communications in the next week. So we're excited about that. Thank you.
We're not only grateful for how this will improve our services, we understand that the world of financial transactions, just in the general sense, have changed from when we started operations as a city. Many of you use tap pay, for instance, in how you make daily purchases. And so this brings us further into the 21st century. And so we're looking forward to how this helps improve our services and how we get business done in the city. The next item for discussion is the city website. I'd like to ask that the residents or media or anyone else who has noticed that there have been some pages of our website down, that you pardon our progress. We are migrating from one platform to another. Though you may notice that some pages are down from time to time, we are working to improve the effectiveness of our website to make it more user-friendly. Anyone who has experienced any type of transition of this type knows that occasionally there will be portions of a website that are occasionally down, and ours is no different, is not escaping that. So we are sorry for the inconvenience of that at times, but we are intending on making it more user-friendly. I want to speak to the Jane Avenue precinct. There had been some issues at the Jane Avenue Community Center. This is where voters in Ward 5, this is Precinct 61, where they cast their votes. And we have already made those improvements with the Parks and Recreation Division. So it will be ready to go for November elections. So anyone who heard about any concerns there, those concerns have been addressed, and they should look forward to being there next month to vote. And I encourage everyone to come out and vote. We know it's an important election, so please do so. They'll be ready to receive those people at Precinct 61. Next is Boo at the Zoo. This is being advertised as a merry, not scary time. Melissa wrote that line, so. This is a merry, not scary. There will be games, there will be a costume parade, photo booth, spooky carousel, and more for our young folks. Food trucks will be on site. The admission is $2 for ages 2 and up. And there is a haunted train ride, which is $3. That is cash only. And this is October 26th. Again, October 26th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Also, speaking of holidays, we also have our Christmas parade, which will be December 7th. Applications for floats are available via our Neighborhood Services Division, and we will have more details in the coming days as to how any more details with respect to the Christmas parade. Since I was talking about voting earlier, I want to remind everyone that about voting tomorrow, which is Tuesday, October 22nd. This is for the special election for Ward 2. There is a runoff in that election. So, I encourage everyone to come out again for the runoff. Oftentimes, the turnout dwindles in a runoff election. So we want to encourage everyone to come out and actually cast their vote so they have some input in terms of their representation. Hotel O, you may have noticed that there has been some movement at Hotel O. We understand that the owners are taking steps to board up the property. But despite those efforts, the city is still intending to demolish that hotel per not only the city council's vote, but the order of the municipal judge. And so I think our city attorney has been in some dialogue with the ownership. We encourage that dialogue to maintain, but as present, that is still the intent of the city to see its demolition. Thalia-Mara Hall, last week we met with the program management team that is helping to oversee the work that is being done at Thalia-Mara Hall. I'd like to invite my friend Imad Al-Turk to come forward. Imad, I believe that we have or are issuing the notice to proceed. We have issued the notice to proceed, and I'll let you expound on all of that. Thank you.
Good afternoon. So Thalia-Mara Hall, obviously everybody's wondering, I guess, when we're going to open. So I'm going to start with this. God willing, we'll be opening on January 18th. Or reopening of the facility. So there's several components associated with this. One is the environmental remediation. So the environmental remediation includes not only mold, but we also discovered there is some asbestos and some lead. So all of this will be taken care of. We awarded the contract for this, and actually they're supposed to be mobilizing this Wednesday, and the goal for them to be complete by January 18th of next year. Concurrently with this, we're also working on a number of things that are the root causes of why the mold happened in the first place. As you know, when there's moisture and there is humidity and heat in the building, this causes mold and environmental damage. So we had the air conditioning system was down. So the city purchased a new air conditioning system and a new chiller, and the chiller is actually operational right now. So we have another chiller that will be coming later on, but it's sufficient actually to operate the building there. There's a couple of other things that we're also working on concurrently with the remediation effort. We have the roof. There's significant leaks from the roof we're trying to fix. So we did a roof scan. We're in the process now of evaluating the results of the scan, and then we're going to be repairing the roof while we're doing the remediation. There's many drainage areas inside the building as well. There's a lot of water ponding that we're going to be also cleaning and completing. And then there's a fire marshal report that came up that requires also some improvement in this area. Particularly the most noted this is the fire curtain, and we're in the process now trying to figure out to try to get a new fire curtain. This curtain that we have right now is full of asbestos and has been there for 65 years and is really obsolete, and we have to replace it as well. So our goal is to actually have everything ready to reopen on January 18th. Thank you.
Thank you, Imad. First of all, let me lift up that it has been reported a number of times with our CAO, the rest of our team, how helpful Mr. Alturic's work has been with the city. It has led to cost savings in many of the projects that we're pursuing, and we're grateful for your work with Thalia and everything else. With that, let me say this was something else I wanted to say. The closure at this time, that January deadline or that anticipated date of its opening, this is also consistent with the usual dark period that we're typically dark with Thalia anyway. So we don't anticipate much more loss to the programming that we've suffered at this point in time. So we're going to work aggressively towards that, and we're going to be optimistic that we'll meet that. With that, I'm ready to take the questions that you may have. Yes, sir.
Mayor, we do have to bring up the recent bill of information that was handed down. It mentions that there's an elected official who received a campaign donation to direct a city employee. Can you speak to that? Some people even come out and say that it is you.
Well, this is what I will say, and this is the only thing that I'll say. So to be clear, with respect to any allegations or speculation on that, I have never conspired with anyone to commit a crime. And that's the basis of it, and that's all that I will share. There may come a time and place where I will expound on that at an appropriate moment. But at this point in time, then that's all I have to represent at this time.
Mr. Mayor, did you take a $10,000 check for your reelection committee from individuals who purported to be real estate owners from Nashville?
I'm going to leave my response at what I just said. Yes, sir.
But you didn't answer the question about, you didn't even answer the first question about
I answered the question.
whether you are identified, the person identified as an unindicted co-conspirator.
What I will say is, with respect to those questions, I would direct you to those that are actually engaging in the investigation. They're best positioned to answer that question. With respect to any question about that, I have never conspired with anyone to commit a crime, period. Yes, sir.
Subject of an FBI investigation, Mayor?
You would have to ask those who are conducting that investigation.
Know that?
Yes, sir. What's your question?
Do you know, or are you associated with Sharik Marmay-Smith, who pled guilty last week?
I have met him a couple of times. I don't know what associated means, but once again, I would direct anyone to those who are hosting that particular investigation. I have never conspired with him or anybody else to commit a crime.
And why do you think the FBI is so interested in the city of Jackson?
Once again, I think that's a good question, but I would direct that to those that are hosting the investigation. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, have you or a PAC associated with filed any campaign finance reports with the city of Jackson since 2022?
I have not filed my campaign finance report. I believe you, or maybe you, Anthony, had asked me that prior. I have not filed my campaign finance report, which unfortunately is not uncustomary for my campaign.
Mr. Mayor, you say you have not conspired with anyone, but that does not, you're not denying that you received a $10,000 check or check from, again, these individuals reporting to be real estate developers.
Ross, let me put it this way. As a former criminal defense attorney, as someone who has represented many people, I take the advice of my counsel very seriously. It doesn't matter how many questions or the variation of the question, my response is going to be the same. And that is quite simply that I have never conspired with anyone to commit a crime.
But very fair, with all due respect, you're not answering whether or not you received a check.
With all due respect, that is all I'm going to tell you, Ross. Thank you.
It's 12:50.
Scheduled to like post how old the dollars or something like that?
I can't remember.
I don't remember the exact date. I know that we've had donations that have been pledged towards its demolition. And so the money is in place, the vote of the city council is in place, the actual, notice to proceed with its demolition. We can get you more details on that and provide that to you, but I don't have an exact date right now. All right, thank you.